So they made a documentary called Monsters Inside or something like that. Did you hear about this documentary?
You hear about this, folks?
Did you hear about it?
You told me about it.
I don't know. Monsters Inside. What
So-
is that? Is that furries
So
or?
this is what I wanted to bring up. At first, it's like I saw just like a tagline, very short, like one sentence, and it was like about like the world's like craziest haunt, which is basically like a haunted house experience, but extreme.
Is this about that crazy guy
So that's the thing is, I
that
thought
doesn't even have a haunted house? He's just a weird torture guy.
So this is what I thought. I thought that it was going to be about the house, and I thought that Monsters Inside was going to imply that like who would want to do this.
Yeah.
But then I watched the documentary right before I was going to watch the movie, and it's not really about what he does. It's almost like an expose from the people that have been affected by it mentally.
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
And so I think it's called McKamey Manor or McKamey. I think it's McKamey Manor.
I think it is McKamey.
McKamey. And this guy, do you know about this?
Macrame Manor.
Macabre me.
That's Brad's.
Macabre
Brad's
me
is
in the
Macrame
face.
Manor.
Mine is macaroni manor. No sauce.
Too spicy. These buttered noodles are spicy.
So do you know about this guy, Brad?
I do not.
And Brad, you know a little bit about
No,
him?
I know it. I know it. Yeah.
So it's
Tell Brad. He's ignorant.
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, what it is
Actually, let's show him.
this
Let's
is-
do it.
This from what I understand, as an individual, you would basically send in like an audition tape, almost like a TV show, and be like, I want to be picked to be on McKamey Manor.
He also will request in those videos like specific things to humiliate yourself, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you could do like this.
Seriously.
Being on this podcast.
I guess, and I mean, it didn't really go into this. I don't know how many people submit and don't get chosen or anything, but like you would do something crazy on a video, be like, I can withstand this, and you would, like eat a raw, like a tarantula or something.
Well,
bizarre.
for Brad, it's like eat a pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's Jello.
Yeah. It's so wiggly.
But
I don't like it because it's the consistency of my own bones.
that's funny. But so people would submit these videos to be chosen from McKamey Manor, which I guess has a large Facebook presence.
Yeah.
And then you get chosen, and they're going to be like, you have to make it this many hours. And if you make it this many hours of going through this haunt experience,
Hold on. Not even going into the manor yet.
Oh.
You don't get into the manor yet. You have to go through a period of torture that is an indeterminate amount of time to earn the right to go into the manor. He used to have an actual like haunted house, McKamey
yes,
Manor.
he started a long time ago.
That stopped. I can't remember if it was a divorce or if it was another issue, but he lost like a bunch of the stuff.
Yes.
And so he supposedly started it back up. And the expose thing I was watching actually pointed out that for quite a while now, no one's made it to the manor. No one's made it up to the house. It starts in front of the house, and you have to like do a whole bunch of horrible stuff. You know, you're crawling through like sewer area stuff.
So the documentary thing made it like that's part of it. And basically, if you make it a certain amount of hours, I don't know if it's 48 or whatever, you basically get $20,000. And no one has made it.
Yeah.
But it's also not a situation where you have a safe word. He chooses if he thinks that you can't take anymore. Which is really shitty.
People are saying stop. People are saying, even I'm done.
Well, even people that are saying, no, I can keep going. He can say with 5 minutes left, you can't take anymore, and avoid paying the $20,000.
But it used to be more like closer to what you're talking about, but genuinely more recently.
Okay.
People aren't even making it to the quote unquote haunted house.
Wow.
It's not happening anymore. All they do is they show up and they're in like the front area, and he just tortures the shit out of them outside for hours, and then we'll be like, okay, well, we got to stop now. Because it like got dark or whatever it is, come back tomorrow, and then you have to start tomorrow and do more of it. And there's a lot of like, oh, hang on, my battery's died in my camera. Let me go recharge. Let me go grab a battery thing. And you're just left in a place for a while.
Yeah,
because he films everything, like for legal, quote unquote, legal purposes. So he can say, look, you agreed to do this thing. but really most of it's just going up on Facebook Live.
Yes.
And people are watching it.
Yes.
And it's just torture.
It's like legit like torture. Like it's like crawling through like, chicken wire and like dumping like ice cold water on you and kind of.
People are getting, they're bruised up, they're beaten up.
So
they get waterboarded full on.
They get waterboarded. He broke someone's ribs and stuff like that.
How long do you guys think you would make it?
Well, he's supposed to talk. He's supposed to find out your biggest fears, and he uses those.
Intimacy.
So let's see. What's Ray's biggest fear?
The funniest thing though is like a lot of it is
for Ray's biggest fear is he does Christmas stuff instead of haunted stuff.
No, I'm fine with the Christmas shit. I just don't want to do it on Halloween.
I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think like a lot of the ism, like what you just said, he finds your biggest fears and stuff. Maybe he was doing that earlier. It really has devolved. And he's just doing the laziest, straight up torture.
That's it. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was really interesting because they sat down with maybe 4 or 5 like victim people and they told their story. But it was really weird because it was kind of like skirting exactly what was happening during these things. Like it'll show you like he does this and he does this, but it doesn't really show you exactly how bad it gets. Like they'll be like, yeah, this person walked away with broken ribs.
Yeah.
But they don't really explain what happened between the person shows up and now they have broken ribs. I don't know if he beats you up. I don't know what happens.
Yeah.
But it was a really weird documentary and it made me want to look more into it. But I'm like, how is this guy just like functioning? How is he walking around doing this?
You should check out, there's a YouTube person.
I figured.
Who has been doing like a really deep dive expose, and it's current, and it's like continual episodes of this are coming out, and it's like it's a very well made investigative thing, and it's like this young kid that's just like going through and figuring everything out and kind of making that's where I've gotten a lot of this information. I've also read articles about this guy, but this is the most recent information, and it's super interesting. And the kid actually went and did the thing.
Wow!
And sure enough, like it was like 3 days. He was staying at a hotel. He basically show up, get tortured for the day, and then go back to the hotel and come back and be tortured for the day. And it was stuff that all happened like on the front lawn. Yeah. And they're just like, nope, you're not ready. You're not going to make it in the house and blah, blah, blah. And that was all the stuff. It was just shit.
It's very, very odd. Yeah. It's funny too, because
all of that for macaroni.
I've heard about like the extreme haunts over the years and stuff like that. And like, I honestly, like, I like Halloween. I like scary movies. I'm such a baby. I can't even really do like haunted houses where people consistently jump scare you.
Sure.
Because I don't like that feeling. So I'm already like, even the stuff that would be like normal and not a big deal for people, I think I'm not good at doing. Like I can't go to Universal Studios and have those fucking zombies chasing me and running around.
We went, I think 9 years ago, and it was a lot of shrieking and squealing from old Satan over here.
Yeah.
Before you even got in the park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, somebody, he'd be like, oh, I'm ready. He'd put me in front of him.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's exactly what would happen.
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Like if the two of you did McKamey Manor.
Yep.
Okay.
I really think a lot of it would be Chuck constantly trying to throw you under the bus, Brad. I think a lot of it would be like they're doing
like
a torture to Chuck.
A literal bus.
Brad didn't eat all his earthworms. Brad didn't eat all his earthworms.
Yeah, or you'd be just like, Brad also hates this, and like,
it's weird because the stuff I hate is so dumb. Chuck has to eat earthworms. I have to eat a salad with dressing on it.
And you're like,
I would definitely.
Although
I quit.
I feel by the end of this, it would be Chuck has been released from the torture and is now leading the torture.
By the end of it, I've definitely talked my way onto the torturer's team.
Yeah.
What's like a reverse? What's it called when you're kidnapped and you
Stockholm syndrome?
A reverse Stockholm syndrome where they accept me as part of them. That would be great.
Oh man, I really think that would happen.